al-Naba'a, the important announcement. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
عَمَّ يَتَسَاءَلُونَ.
What is it that these disbelievers are asking one another about?
عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ.
Is it about the greatly important and very useful announcement leading to knowledge?
الَّذِي هُمْ فِيهِ مُخْتَلِفُونَ.
About which they differ from the Muslims and among themselves?
كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ.
It is not as they assume. They shall surely know the truth thereof.
ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ.
We say it again. The real thing is not as they believe. They shall surely come to know the truth thereof.
أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا.
Have we not made the earth as a bed?
وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا.
And the mountains as a series of pegs?
وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا.
And we have created you in pairs, males and females.
وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا.
And we have made your sleep a source of rest.
وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا.
And we have made the night as a covering.
وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا.
And we have made the day for following the various pursuits of life.
وَبَنَيْنَا فَوْقَكُمْ سَبْعًا شِدَادًا.
And we have built above you 7 strong heavenly bodies of the solar system.
وَجَعَلْنَا سِرَاجًا وَهَّاجًا.
And we have made therein the sun providing immense light and heat from a long distance.
وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْمُعْصِرَاتِ مَاءً ثَجَّاجًا.
And we pour down from the dripping clouds water in torrent.
لِنُخْرِجَ بِهِ حَبًّا وَنَبَاتًا.
That we may bring forth therewith all kinds of grain and vegetation.
وَجَنَّاتٍ أَلْفَافًا.
And grow with it gardens thick and luxuriant.
إِنَّ يَوْمَ الْفَصْلِ كَانَ مِيقَاتًا.
Surely the day of judgment is an appointed time.
يَوْمَ يُنفَخُ فِي الصُّورِ فَتَأْتُونَ أَفْوَاجًا.
The day when the trumpet will be blown, and you will come in large troops.
وَفُتِحَتِ السَّمَاءُ فَكَانَتْ أَبْوَابًا.
And the heaven shall be flung open, and it shall become all doors.
وَسُيِّرَتِ الْجِبَالُ فَكَانَتْ سَرَابًا.
And the mountains shall be wiped out, and shall become as if reduced to plains of sand.
إِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ كَانَتْ مِرْصَادًا.
Surely only Gehenna shall be in wait for those who deny the truth.
لِلطَّاغِينَ مَآبًا.
A nursing home for the rebellious.
لَابِثِينَ فِيهَا أَحْقَابًا.
There they shall be staying for ages, till all their maladies are completely treated.
لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا.
There they shall find no comfort of coolness, nor drink.
إلا حميما وغساقا.
All that they shall have will be boiling water or stinking fluid as a recompense.
جزاء وفاقا
A befitting recompense for the evils done by them.
إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا
They did not fear any reckoning at all.
وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا
And they had belied our messages outright.
وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا
And everything of their deeds we have fully recorded in a book of deeds.
فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا
It shall be said to them when they are about to be punished, suffer therefore the consequences of your evil deeds. We will do no more than increase your torment.
إن للمتقين مفازا
As for those who guarded against evil, there awaits them a triumph.
حدائق وأعنابا
Orchards and vineyards,
وكواعب أترابا
and blooming young maidens suiting their age, and also matching in all other respects,
وكأسا دهاقا
and overflowing cups of pure and clean drink.
لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا
Therein they will hear no vain discourse, no topics based on falsehood.
جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا
It will be said to each, all of this is bestowed on you by your Lord, both by way of gift and by reckoning.
رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا
The Lord of the heavens and the earth, and of all that lies between them, the most gracious God, whom they dare not address.
يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا
All this will be on the day of resurrection, when the perfect Spirit and the angels will stand in rows. None shall speak except he, Muhammad, to whom the most gracious God will grant permission, and who will speak only what is right.
ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا
That day is bound to come, so let him who will seek recourse to his Lord.
إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا
Verily, we have warned you of a punishment which is close at hand, a day when a person shall see what good or evil deeds he has sent on before for the next life. And the disbeliever will say, would that I were mere dust. Al-Nazi'at, those who perform their duties vigorously. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
وَالنَّازِعَاتِ غَرْقًا
I call to witness those groups of beings who perform their duties towards their Lord and people and themselves with intense zeal and to the best of their capacity.
وَالنَّازِعَاتِ فالناشطات نشطا
and those who exert themselves vigorously,
والسابحات سبحا
and those who steer their course swiftly and skillfully,
فالسابقات سبقا
then those who going foremost greatly excel all others and attain the topmost positions,
فالمدبرات أمرا
then those who administer the affairs in an excellent manner shall reap the fruit of their striving.
يوم ترجف الراجفة
It shall be on the day when the quaking earth shall quake.
تتبعها الرادفة
Quakes after quakes shall follow this.
قلوب يومئذ واجفة
On that day, many hearts will be trembling with fear.
أبصارها خاشعة
Their eyes will be downcast in disgrace.
يقولون أئنا لمردودون في الحافرة
These are the people who say, shall we really be restored to our former state after we are dead?
أإذا كنا عظاما نخرة
Shall it be even when we are reduced to hollow bones?
قالوا تلك إذا كرة خاسرة
And who say, then such a resurrection shall indeed be fraught with loss.
فإنما هي زجرة واحدة
Let them say what they think. It will be no more than a single scary blast.
فإذا هم بالساهرة
And behold, after that, they will all be awakened and come out in the open.
هل أتاك حديث موسى
The story of Moses has reached you,
إذ ناداه ربه بالوادي المقدس طوى
when his Lord called out to him in the sacred valley of Tuwa,
اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى
and directed him, go to Pharaoh. He has transgressed all limits.
فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى
And say to him, would you like to purify yourself?
وأهديك إلى ربك فتخشى
That I should guide you to your Lord so that you may stand in awe of him?
فأراه الآية الكبرى
So Moses went to Pharaoh, and he showed him the great sign of the staff.
فكذب وعصى
But he belied Moses and disobeyed.
ثم أدبر يسعى
Then he turned back, striving and devising schemes against him.
فحشر فنادى
And he gathered his people and proclaimed,
فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى
saying, I, Pharaoh, am your supreme Lord.
فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة والأولى
So Allah seized him for the punishment of both the next and the present life.
إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى
Indeed, there is a lesson in this event for him who stands in awe of his Lord.
أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها
O people, are you harder to be created again, or the heaven? He, the Almighty Lord, has made it.
رفع سمكها فسواها
He has raised the height thereof, and has made it flawlessly perfect and well balanced.
وأغطش ليلها وأخرج ضحاها
And he gave darkness to its night, and brought forth the morn thereof.
والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها
and along with it he hurled the earth away from a bigger mass and spread it forth.
أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها
He produced from it its water and pasture.
والجبال أرساها
He set the mountains firmly.
متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم
He has done all this to serve as a goodly provision for you and your cattle.
فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى
Behold, when that great calamity comes to pass,
يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى
on that day every person will call to mind all that he strove for.
وبرزت الجحيم لمن يرى
And hell shall be brought in view of him who sees.
فأما من طغى
Then as for the one who transgresses
وآثر الحياة الدنيا
and prefers the present life to the hereafter,
فإن الجحيم هي المأوى
let him remember that the hell shall surely be his abode.
وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى
But as for the one who fears to stand before his Lord and restrains himself from evil desires,
فإن الجنة هي المأوى
then garden of bliss shall surely be his permanent abode.
يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها
The people ask you concerning the hour, saying, when shall it come to pass?
فيم أنت من ذكراها
Why do they ask this question? It is you who are its reminder, you being one of its signs.
إلى ربك منتهاها
The ultimate end of it is decreed by your Lord.
إنما أنت منذر من يخشاها
You are only a warner to one who fears it.
كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها
The day they witness it, the hour, they will feel as if they had stayed in the world and the grave for an afternoon or a short forenoon thereof. Abasa, he frowned, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
عبس وتولى
He, the Prophet, frowned and turned aside,
أن جاءه الأعمى
because the blind man came to him, interrupting him unknowingly.
وما يدريك لعله يزكى
And what could make you, O Prophet, know that he might purify himself?
أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى
Or that he might have paid heed to the admonition that God has revealed to you, and this admonition would have done him good as well.
أما من استغنى
But as to him who considers himself self-sufficient and is indifferent to the truth,
فأنت له تصدى
to this one you were very attentive.
وما عليك ألا يزكى
Though you are not to blame if he does not purify himself.
وأما من جاءك يسعى
Whereas the blind man came to you, striving in right earnest to learn the Quran,
وهو يخشى
and all the while he stands in awe of God.
فأنت عنه تلهى
But you neglect him and pay him no regard.
كلا إنها تذكرة
This should not have been so. Verily, this Quran is a means to rise to eminence for you all.
فمن شاء ذكره
So let him who desires pay heed to it and rise to eminence.
في صحف مكرمة
This Quran is preserved in such written leaves of the book as are greatly honored,
مرفوعة مطهرة
which are ranked high and are rid of all impurities,
بأيدي سفرة
which are in the hands of scribes,
كرام بررة
noble and virtuous.
قتل الإنسان ما أكفره
Ruin sees the person, one too proud to accept the reminder, how ungrateful he is.
من أي شيء خلقه
Let him consider from what an insignificant material he has created him.
من نطفة خلقه فقدره
From a mere sperm drop. He at first creates him, then endows him with infinite capacity to make progress.
ثم السبيل يسره
Then makes his passage through all affairs of life easy for him.
ثم أماته فأقبره
Then he calls him to death, and he assigns to him an interim state of a grave.
ثم إذا شاء أنشره
And he will again raise him to life when he so wishes.
كلا لما يقض ما أمره
It cannot be that there is no resurrection. He has not yet carried out what he commanded him to do.
فلينظر الإنسان إلى طعامه
Therefore, let such a person look at his food.
أنا صببنا الماء صبا
How at first we pour down water in abundance,
ثم شققنا الأرض شقا
then we cleave the earth a proper cleaving,
فأنبتنا فيها حبا
so that we cause grain to grow therein,
وعنبا وقضبا
as well as grapes, vegetables,
وزيتونا ونخلا
the olive, the date palm,
وحدائق غلبا
orchards with dense trees,
وفاكهة وأبا
fruits and herbage,
متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم
a goodly provision for you and your cattle.
فإذا جاءت الصاخة
Again, you should also consider when the deafening shout shall come,
يوم يفر المرء من أخيه
the day when a person shall flee from his brother,
وأمه وأبيه
and from his mother and his father,
وصاحبته وبنيه
and from his spouse and his sons.
لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه
On that day, every person among them shall be concerned enough regarding his own affairs to occupy him and to make him indifferent to others.
وجوه يومئذ مسفرة
Some faces that day will be beaming,
ضاحكة مستبشرة
smiling and joyous,
ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة.
Some other faces on that day will have dust upon them,
ترهقها قترة.
gloom covering them.
أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة.
Those will be the faces of the disbelievers and of the doers of evil. El-Takwir, losing of the light. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
إذا الشمس كورت.
When the sun be folded up and darkened.
وإذا النجوم انكدرت.
And when the stars are obscured.
وإذا الجبال سيرت.
And when the mountains are made to pass away.
وإذا العشار عطلت.
And when the excellent she-camels will be discarded.
وإذا الوحوش حشرت.
And when the wild beasts shall be herded together.
وإذا البحار سجرت.
And when the rivers will be drained away.
وإذا النفوس زوجت.
And when various people will be united together.
وإذا الموءودة سئلت.
And when the baby girl who is buried alive will be questioned about.
بأي ذنب قتلت.
For what offense was she killed?
وإذا الصحف نشرت.
And when books and papers will be spread abroad.
وإذا السماء كشطت.
And when the heights will be discovered.
وإذا الجحيم سعرت.
And when the hellfire will be set ablaze.
وإذا الجنة أزلفت.
And when the paradise will be brought near.
علمت نفس ما أحضرت.
Every soul will know then what store of deeds it has brought forward.
فلا أقسم بالخنس.
Nay, I call to witness those planets that recede while advancing in one direction.
الجوار الكنس.
Those planets that continue their forward course along their orbits and then disappear.
والليل إذا عسعس.
And I call to witness the night when its darkness begins to depart.
والصبح إذا تنفس.
And the dawn as it begins to breathe and brightens up.
إنه لقول رسول كريم.
That verily, this Quran is indeed the word revealed to and uttered by a noble and illustrious messenger.
ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين.
Possessor of power, occupying a glorious secure position with the Lord of the throne.
مطاع ثم أمين.
Who is entitled to be obeyed and who is trustworthy.
وما صاحبكم بمجنون.
And that this companion of yours is not at all mad.
ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين.
And he has most surely seen himself shining in the resplendence of his own light, in the clear horizon, in the remotest corners of the world.
وما هو على الغيب بضنين.
And he is not at all niggardly, nor a forgerer in disclosing the hidden realities.
وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم.
Nor is this Quran the word of Satan, who is driven away from divine presence.
فأين تذهبون
Where do you wander to leaving this Quran and the messenger aside?
إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين
This is but a means to rise to eminence for all people.
لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم
For such of you who wish to walk straight and attain eminence.
وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين.
And you should not desire otherwise, except that which Allah, the Lord of the worlds, desires for you. Al-Infitar, the cleaving asunder. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
إذا السماء انفطرت
When the sky will be cleft asunder,
وإذا الكواكب انتثرت
and when the planets will become dispersed,
وإذا البحار فجرت
and when the rivers are widely split up and made to flow forth into canals,
وإذا القبور بعثرت
and when the graves will be laid open,
علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت.
every person shall know then what evil actions which he should not have done he has committed, and what good actions he should have done he has omitted.
يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم.
O ungrateful human being, what has enticed you away from your Lord, the honored one,
الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك.
who created you, then perfected you with wisdom, then endowed you with great natural powers and faculties,
في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك.
and he fashioned you in whatever form it pleased him.
كلا بل تكذبون بالدين.
Surely it is not at all as you think. The truth is that you treat the requital as a lie.
وإن عليكم لحافظين.
Verily, there are appointed guardians over you,
كراما كاتبين.
noble angel recorders of your commissions and omissions,
يعلمون ما تفعلون.
who know all that you do.
إن الأبرار لفي نعيم.
The virtuous shall invariably be in a state of bliss,
وإن الفجار لفي جحيم.
but the wicked shall of course be in the flaming fire.
يصلونها يوم الدين.
They will enter therein on the day of requital,
وما هم عنها بغائبين.
and they shall not at all be able to keep themselves away by escaping from it.
وما أدراك ما يوم الدين.
What should make you know what the day of requital is?
ثم ما أدراك ما يوم الدين.
Again, we repeat, how can you know what the day of requital is?
يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله.
It is the day when no person shall be able to do anything for another. On that day, the absolute judgment of every sort shall entirely belong to Allah. Al-Mutaffifin, the defaulters in duty. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
ويل للمطففين.
Woe be to those who make a default in any of their duties and give short measure.
الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون.
When they receive measure from other people, they receive in full, not allowing the least shortage and loss.
وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون.
But when they give by measure to others, or weigh to them, they give them less than what is due.
ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون.
Do not such people realize that they will be raised to life again?
ليوم عظيم.
To face and hear the judgment of that great day?
يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين.
The day when people shall stand before the Lord of the worlds?
كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين.
Nay, not at all as they believe. The record of the deeds of the wicked is in Sijin, the register of a prison.
وما أدراك ما سجين.
What should make you know what that Sijin is?
كتاب مرقوم.
It is a book written distinctly and comprehensively.
ويل يومئذ للمكذبين.
On that day, woe shall befall those who belie the truth.
الذين يكذبون بيوم الدين.
Those that belie the day of requital.
وما يكذب به إلا كل معتد أثيم.
No one can treat it as a lie except every sinful transgressor.
إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين.
Who, when our messages are recited to him, says, these are mere fables of the ancients.
كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون.
Nay, not at all so. The truth is that their evil deeds have rusted their hearts.
كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون.
Nay, we repeat, not at all so. Verily they shall be debarred from the sight and mercy of their Lord that day.
ثم إنهم لصالو الجحيم.
Then they shall surely enter into the flaming fire.
ثم يقال هذا الذي كنتم به تكذبون.
Then it will be said to them, this is that very punishment which you used to cry lies to.
كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين.
Behold, verily the record of the righteous deeds of the virtuous will be in Elion, the register of those enjoying the most exalted ranks.
وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا عِلِّيُّونَ
And what should make you know what Elion is?
كِتَابٌ مَّرْقُومٌ
It is a book distinctly and comprehensively written,
يَشْهَدُهُ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ
which those drawn near to their Lord will find present.
إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ
The virtuous shall indeed be in a state of bliss that day,
عَلَى الْأَرَائِكِ يَنظُرُونَ
reclining upon raised couches. They shall be looking at everything all around.
تَعْرِفُ فِي وُجُوهِهِمْ نَضْرَةَ النَّعِيمِ
You shall find freshness and bloom of bliss in their faces.
يُسْقَوْنَ مِنْ رَحِيقٍ مَخْتُومٍ
They shall be given to drink a pure and delightfully refreshing beverage, sealed and secure from all contamination.
ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون.
Even the sealing and dregs of which will have flavor of musk. So to this noble end let all the aspirants aspire.
ومزاجه من تسنيم.
And this beverage will be tempered with tasneem, flowing from on high.
عينا يشرب بها المقربون.
This tasneem is a spring of which those drawn near to God shall drink.
إن الذين أجرموا كانوا من الذين آمنوا يضحكون.
Those who had severed their ties with God used to laugh at those who believed.
وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِهِمْ يَتَغَامَزُونَ.
And when they passed by them, they winked at one another by way of ridiculously finding fault with them.
وَإِذَا انقلبوا إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِمُ انقلبوا فَكِهِينَ.
And when they returned to their companions, they returned exulting with pride.
وَإِذَا رَأَوْهُمْ قَالُوا إِنَّ هَٰؤُلَاءِ لَضَالُّونَ.
And when they saw these Muslims, they said, "These are surely the straying ones."
وَمَا أُرْسِلُوا عَلَيْهِمْ حَافِظِينَ.
Though they were not deputied as guardians to guard over them.
فَالْيَوْمَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ.
Now, on this day of judgment, it is the believers who will wonder at the disbelievers.
عَلَى الْأَرَائِكِ يَنظُرُونَ.
Seated on raised couches of dignity, they, the believers, will be looking at the miserable state of the disbelievers in Gehenna.
هَلْ ثُوِّبَ الْكُفَّارُ مَا كَانُوا يَفْعَلُونَ.
Then it shall be said, the disbelievers have been duly requited for the misdeeds that they used to do. Al-Inshiqaq, the bursting asunder. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ.
When the sky burst asunder.
وأذنت لربها وحقت
and gives ear to the command of its Lord to obey, and it is fittingly disposed to do so.
وإذا الأرض مدت
And when the earth is stretched out and receives fresh manure for the spiritual and physical progress of its dwellers,
وألقت ما فيها وتخلت
and casts forth all that it has in it, and becomes as if empty,
وأذنت لربها وحقت
and gives ear to the command of its Lord to obey, and it is fittingly disposed to do so.
يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه.
O people, verily you are by nature toiling on towards your Lord a laborious toiling. Then through arduous service to him you shall surely meet him.
فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه
Then as for the person who is given his record of deeds in his right hand,
فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا
he shall soon be reckoned an easy reckoning,
وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا
and he will return to his people joyfully.
وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره
But as for the one who will have his record of deeds given to him behind his back, as a sign that he had thrown the divine teachings behind his back,
فسوف يدعو ثبورا
he shall soon call, so to say, for complete destruction to end his agonies.
ويصلى سعيرا
And he will enter into a blazing fire.
إنه كان في أهله مسرورا
Verily, before this he used to be joyful among his companions, and neglected the hereafter.
إنه ظن أن لن يحور
He deemed that he would never return to God.
بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا
Yet he did return to God to account for his deeds. Surely his Lord was ever watchful of him.
فلا أقسم بالشفق
Behold, I call to witness the twilight of sunset,
والليل وما وسق
and the night, and all that it envelops,
والقمر إذا اتسق
and the moon when it becomes full.
لتركبن طبقا عن طبق
That you may invariably pass on from one stage to another.
فما لهم لا يؤمنون
So what is wrong with them that they do not believe?
وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون
And they do not prostrate in submission when the Quran is recited to them.
بل الذين كفروا يكذبون
On the contrary, these disbelievers cry lies to the Quran,
والله أعلم بما يوعون
and Allah knows best all that they keep hidden in their hearts.
فبشرهم بعذاب أليم
So do not bother about them. Rather, give them the news of a woeful punishment.
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون.
Different, however, is the case of those who believe and do deeds of righteousness. There awaits them an unending reward. Al-Buruj, the starry spangles. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْبُرُوجِ.
I call to witness the starry spangles of the sky.
وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ.
And the promised day.
وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ.
And the bearer of witness, the prophet, and that about whom the witness is born, the prophet's community.
قُتِلَ أَصْحَابُ الْأُخْدُودِ.
That these disbelievers will face destruction, as were destroyed the fellows of the trenches.
النَّارِ ذَاتِ الْوَقُودِ.
These trenches had the fire fed with fuel.
إِذْ هُمْ عَلَيْهَا قُعُودٌ.
When they sat by them.
وَهُمْ عَلَى مَا يَفْعَلُونَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ شُهُودٌ.
And they were the witnesses of those wrongs they were doing to the believers.
وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا أَن يُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَمِيدِ.
They hated and tortured these believers for no reason other than that they had believed in Allah, the Almighty, the Praiseworthy.
الَّذِي لَهُ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدٌ.
To whom belongs the sovereignty of the heavens and the earth, and Allah is witness over all things.
إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَتَنُوا الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَتُوبُوا فَلَهُمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمَ وَلَهُمْ عَذَابُ الْحَرِيقِ.
Those who deliberately persecute the believing men and women, and then do not repent, shall suffer the punishment of Gehenna, and shall suffer the torment of heart-burning in the present life.
إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٌ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْكَبِيرُ.
But those who believe and do deeds of righteousness shall have gardens served with running streams to keep them green and flourishing. This indeed is the great achievement.
إِنَّ بَطْشَ رَبِّكَ لَشَدِيدٌ.
Terrible indeed is the seizing of your Lord.
إِنَّهُ هُوَ يُبْدِئُ وَيُعِيدُ.
It is He who originates and continues reproducing.
وَهُوَ الْغَفُورُ الْوَدُودُ.
And He is the protector, the most loving.
ذُو الْعَرْشِ الْمَجِيدُ.
Lord of the throne of power, the Lord of all glory.
فَعَّالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ.
Absolute performer of what He intends to carry out.
هَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ الْجُنُودِ.
There has reached you the account of the host
فِرْعَوْنَ وَثَمُودَ.
of Pharaoh and Thamud.
بَلِ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فِي تَكْذِيبٍ.
The truth is that the disbelievers are persisting in belying the divine messages.
وَاللَّهُ مِن وَرَائِهِم مُحِيطٌ.
And Allah encompasses them from all sides, from behind, and from in front of them, to punish them.
بل هو قرآن مجيد.
This is also the truth, that it is a glorious Quran.
في لوح محفوظ.
Inscribed in a tablet well guarded against corruption, distortion, and destruction. Al-Tariq, the night visitant. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
والسماء والطارق.
I call to witness the heaven and the visitant in the darkness of the night.
وما أدراك ما الطارق.
And what should make you know what the night visitant is?
النجم الثاقب.
It is the star of piercing brightness.
إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ.
Remember, a guardian is appointed by God over every soul.
فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق.
Therefore, let every human being consider from what material he is created.
خلق من ماء دافق.
He is created from a jetting fluid.
يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب.
Which issues forth from between the loins and the breastbones.
إنه على رجعه لقادر.
Verily, he who created him the first time has the power of bringing him back to life in the hereafter.
يوم تبلى السرائر.
On the day when the hidden things shall be exposed.
فما له من قوة ولا ناصر.
Then the person who has engrossed himself in worldly affairs shall have neither power to defend himself, nor will he have any other helper.
والسماء ذات الرجع.
I call to witness the clouds that rain over and over again.
والأرض ذات الصدع.
And the earth that burst forth with herbage and with springs.
إنه لقول فصل.
That verily this Quran is a decisive word.
وما هو بالهزل.
And it is not a vain revelation.
إنهم يكيدون كيدا.
And they, the disbelievers, devise a device against it.
وأكيد كيدا.
And in return, I too devise a counter device.
فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا.
Therefore, grant the disbelievers respite. Yes, grant them respite for a little while. Al-Ala, the Most High. With the name of Allah, the Most Gracious, the Ever Merciful.
سبح اسم ربك الأعلى.
Extol the holiness of the name of your Lord, the Most High.
الذي خلق فسوى.
Who creates all things and gives them suitable and perfect shapes.
والذي قدر فهدى.
Who determines the capacities and faculties and furnishes them with appropriate guidance to achieve the final goal.
والذي أخرج المرعى.
And who brings forth the pasturage.
فجعله غثاء أحوى.
And then turns it into dried up rubbish, gray-colored.
سنقرئك فلا تنسى.
We will soon teach you, and make you recite the Quran so that you shall not forget any part of it.
إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى.
Except whatever other things which Allah will, and which things you are apt to forget as a human being. Indeed, He knows all that is manifest and all that is hidden.
وَنُيَسِّرُكَ لِلْيُسْرَى.
And we shall provide you every facility and make things easy for you.
فَذَكِّرْ إِن نَّفَعَتِ الذِّكْرَى.
Therefore, keep on reminding the people. Surely reminding does good.
سَيَذَّكَّرُ مَن يَخْشَىٰ.
He who stands in awe of God will heed.
وَيَتَجَنَّبُهَا الْأَشْقَى.
But the person steeped in wickedness goes on avoiding it.
الَّذِي يَصْلَى النَّارَ الْكُبْرَى.
He who will enter the great fire.
ثُمَّ لَا يَمُوتُ فِيهَا وَلَا يَحْيَىٰ.
Then he shall neither die therein nor live.
قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَن تَزَكَّىٰ.
Verily, that person who purifies himself truly will succeed both in this life and in the hereafter.
وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّهِ فَصَلَّىٰ.
And remembers and extols the name of his Lord and offers prayers.
بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا.
But the fact is that you people prefer the present life.
وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَىٰ.
Though the life in the hereafter is much better and more lasting.
إِنَّ هَٰذَا لَفِي الصُّحُفِ الْأُولَىٰ.
These teachings are so stated in the earlier scriptures.
صُحُفِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَمُوسَىٰ.
The scriptures of Abraham and Moses. Al-Ghashiyah, the overwhelming event. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
هَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ الْغَاشِيَةِ.
There has reached you the news of the overwhelming event, the resurrection.
وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ خَاشِعَةٌ.
Some persons shall be downcast and humble that day.
عَامِلَةٌ نَاصِبَةٌ.
Toil-worn and weary.
تَصْلَىٰ نَارًا حَامِيَةً.
They shall enter a blazing fire.
تُسْقَىٰ مِنْ عَيْنٍ آنِيَةٍ.
They shall be made to drink from a spring of boiling hot water.
لَيْسَ لَهُمْ طَعَامٌ إِلَّا مِنْ ضَرِيعٍ.
Dry, bitter, and thorny herbage shall be their only food.
لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع.
Which neither nourishes nor satisfies hunger.
وجوه يومئذ ناعمة.
On that day, some other persons will be fresh and joyful.
لسعيها راضية.
Well satisfied with the fruit of their pious strivings.
في جنة عالية.
They will live in a sublime garden.
لا تسمع فيها لاغية.
Wherein you will hear no vain talk.
فيها عين جارية.
It shall have a running spring.
فيها سرر مرفوعة.
It shall have thrones raised high.
وأكواب موضوعة.
And goblets properly set.
ونمارق مصفوفة.
and cushions beautifully ranged in rows,
وزرابي مبثوثة
and velvety carpets tastefully spread.
أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت
Do the people not then look at the clouds and the camels, how they are made?
وإلى السماء كيف رفعت
And at the heaven, how it is raised high?
وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت
And at the mountains, how they are set up?
وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت
And at the earth, how it is spread out.
فذكر إنما أنت مذكر
Keep on admonishing them, even if they insist on shutting their eyes. So your duty is one of an admonisher.
لست عليهم بمسيطر
You are not appointed a keeper, stern and hard to compel them.
إلا من تولى وكفر
But as to him who turns away and disbelieves,
فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر
Allah shall punish him with the greatest punishment.
إن إلينا إيابهم
Verily to us is their ultimate return.
ثم إن علينا حسابهم
Then it is surely for us to call them to account. Al-Fajr, the dawn. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
والفجر
I call to witness all the times and places specially important for the acceptance of prayers, including the dawn of the 20th of Ramadan,
وليال عشر
and the last 10 nights of Ramadan,
والشفع والوتر
and the prayers of which consist of the even and odd numbers of raka'at performed during these nights,
والليل إذا يسر
and the night, Laylatul Qadr, the blessed night, when it moves on to its close.
هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر
In it there is surely a strong evidence for one who has sense and understanding.
ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد
Have you not considered how your Lord dealt with Ad,
إرم ذات العماد
of Iram, possessors of tall statures and lofty columns,
التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد
the like of whom have not been created in these parts of land,
وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد
and how he dealt with the tribe of Thamud, who hewed out huge rocks in the valley to make their dwellings,
وفرعون ذي الأوتاد
and how he dealt with Pharaoh, lord of vast host,
الذين طغوا في البلاد
all these people were those who committed all sort of excesses in the cities,
فأكثروا فيها الفساد
and they spread a lot of corruption and lawlessness therein.
فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب
So much so that your Lord let loose on them the scourge of various kinds of punishments.
إن ربك لبالمرصاد
Behold, your God is always on the watch.
فأما الإنسان الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن.
Moreover, a human being is such that when his Lord disciplines him by prosperity and thus honors him and bestows favors on him, he says, "My Lord has honored me."
وَأَمَّا إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَهَانَنِ.
And when he disciplines him with affliction and thus straightens for him his means of subsistence, he says, "My Lord has for no reason disgraced me."
كَلَّا بَل لَّا تُكْرِمُونَ الْيَتِيمَ.
Nay, what you think is wrong, but the reason for this degradation is that you, for your part, do not honor the orphan.
وَلَا تَحَاضُّونَ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ.
And you do not urge one another to feed the poor.
وَتَأْكُلُونَ التُّرَاثَ أَكْلًا لَمًّا.
And you devour the heritage of others wholly and indiscriminately.
وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا.
And you are exceedingly fond of wealth.
كَلَّا إِذَا دُكَّتِ الْأَرْضُ دَكًّا دَكًّا.
By no means will it be so as you think, when the earth is completely crushed into pieces.
وَجَاءَ رَبُّكَ وَالْمَلَكُ صَفًّا صَفًّا.
And when the judgment of your Lord comes to pass, and the angels descend also, ranged rank on rank to execute his decree.
وَجِيءَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمَ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَذَكَّرُ الْإِنسَانُ وَأَنَّى لَهُ الذِّكْرَى.
On that day, Gehenna shall be brought near. It is on that very day that a person will remember the admonition, but of what avail shall that remembrance be to him at that time?
يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لِحَيَاتِي.
He will say, "Oh, would that I had sent forward some good deeds as a provision for this my life here on this side."
فَيَوْمَئِذٍ لَّا يُعَذِّبُ عَذَابَهُ أَحَدٌ.
So on that day, none but he shall execute his punishment.
وَلَا يُوثِقُ وَثَاقَهُ أَحَدٌ.
And no one but he shall bind like his binding.
يَا أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْمُطْمَئِنَّةُ.
As for the person who has been blessed with a contented and peaceful mind, he will say to him, "O you soul at peace,
ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية.
come back to your Lord, well pleased with him, and he well pleased with you.
فادخلي في عبادي.
Enter the fold of my chosen servants,
وادخلي جنتي.
and enter the garden made by me." Al-Balad, the city. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
لا أقسم بهذا البلد.
Nay, it will never happen at the disbeliever's desire. I do swear by this city of Mecca.
وأنت حل بهذا البلد.
When you will surely alight as a conqueror in this city.
ووالد وما ولد.
And I cite as witness your father Abraham and his exalted son Ismail.
لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد.
We have certainly created a human being to face obstacles and to struggle hard to achieve a marvelous goal.
أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد.
Does he think that no one will have power to use against him?
يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا.
He will say, I have wasted enormous wealth.
أيحسب أن لم يره أحد.
But does he think that no one sees him?
ألم نجعل له عينين.
Have we not given him 2 eyes to distinguish right from wrong?
ولسانا وشفتين.
And a tongue and 2 lips so that he can ask if he cannot see for himself?
وهديناه النجدين.
And we have pointed out to him the 2 conspicuous highways of right and wrong.
فلاقتحم العقبة.
Yet he would not attempt the uphill path of steep and difficult ascent.
وما أدراك ما العقبة.
And what should make you know what the uphill path of steep and difficult ascent is?
فك رقبة.
It is the freeing of a captive from the bondage of slavery, debt, and other afflictions.
أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة.
Or feeding in the time of famine.
يتيما ذا مقربة.
An orphan, near of kin.
أو مسكينا ذا متربة.
Or a downtrodden poor person.
ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة.
And what is even more than he is of those who believe and exhort one another to be patiently persevering and exhort one another to be compassionate towards God's creation.
أولئك أصحاب الميمنة.
These who follow this hard path are the blessed ones.
والذين كفروا بآياتنا هم أصحاب المشأمة.
But those who denied our messages are the wretched ones.
عليهم نار مؤصدة.
There shall envelop them the fire closed over, a fire the heat of which is not allowed to escape, and they themselves cannot get out of it. Al-Shams, the sun, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
والشمس وضحاها.
I call to witness the sun and its light and heat.
والقمر إذا تلاها.
And the moon when it borrows light from it.
والنهار إذا جلاها.
And the day when it reveals the sun's glory.
والليل إذا يغشاها.
And the night when it draws a veil over it.
والسماء وما بناها.
And the heaven and that great omnipotent divinity who made it.
والأرض وما طحاها.
And the earth and that great being who expanded it.
ونفس وما سواها.
And the human soul and that mighty Lord who made it perfect.
فألهمها فجورها وتقواها.
Then he revealed to it its evil and its righteousness.
قد أفلح من زكاها.
All these are cited to witness that one who purifies it certainly succeeds.
وقد خاب من دساها
And he indeed is ruined who corrupts it.
كذبت ثمود بطغواها
The tribe of Thamud belied Salih because of their rebelliousness.
إذ انبعث أشقاها
It was when the wretched most among them arose.
فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها
And Allah's messenger said to them, Do not interfere with the she-camel, a symbol appointed by the command of Allah, and do not obstruct her from watering.
فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها
But they belied and disobeyed him and hamstrung her. Then their Lord destroyed them completely for their sin, so much so that he leveled them all to the ground.
ولا يخاف عقباها
And he did not care at all for their end, as to what an utterly miserable state they were reduced. Al-Layl, the night. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
والليل إذا يغشى
I call to witness the night when it spreads its veil,
والنهار إذا تجلى
and the day when it becomes bright,
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى
and all the males and the females that he created.
إن سعيكم لشتى
That diverse are the ends that you strive to achieve.
فأما من أعطى واتقى
Then as for the person who devotes all his resources and capacities in the cause of God, gives to others and guards against evil,
وصدق بالحسنى
and declares his faith in all that is best and right,
فسنيسره لليسرى
we will then invariably provide for him every facility for doing good.
وأما من بخل واستغنى
But as for him who is niggardly and cripples his capacities, and is disdainfully indifferent to God and the hereafter,
وكذب بالحسنى
and belies all that is best,
فسنيسره للعسرى
we will then, of course, make easy for him the downhill path to a state of distress.
وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى
And his wealth shall not avail him when he dies.
إن علينا للهدى
It is for us to provide guidance,
وإن لنا للآخرة والأولى
and to us belong all the blessings of both the next world and the present.
فأنذرتكم نارا تلظى
O people, now I have warned you of a flaming fire.
لا يصلاها إلا الأشقى
None shall enter it but the wretched sinner,
الذي كذب وتولى
who belies the truth and turns his back on it.
وسيجنبها الأتقى
But the one who guards against evil and keeps his duty to God and others shall most carefully be kept away from it.
الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى
A person who spends his wealth seeking to purify himself,
وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى
and not because he is under an obligation to anyone, which obligation has to be repaid,
إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى
but he spends only to seek the pleasure of his Lord, the Most High.
وَلَسَوْفَ يَرْضَى.
Surely he will be well pleased with such a one. Al-Duha, the forenoon brightness. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
وَالضُّحَى.
I call to witness the growing brightness of the forenoon,
وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى.
and the night when it becomes still.
مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى.
O Prophet, your Lord has not forsaken you, nor is he displeased with you.
وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى.
Surely your future is better for you than your past.
وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى.
Your Lord will soon give you what you desire, and you will be well pleased with him.
أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى.
Did he not find you an orphan and take you under his care?
وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى.
He found you lost in his love and that of his people, and gave you guidance so as to enable you to help the people reach the goal.
وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى.
And he found you having a large family to support. He freed you from want of every kind.
فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ.
Therefore, as to the orphan, do not allow him to be an oppressed person.
وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ.
And as for the person who seeks your assistance, do not chide him away.
وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ.
Then as to the blessings and favors of your Lord, keep on proclaiming your gratitude by doing similar favors to your fellow beings. Al-Sharha, the expanding. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
أَلَمْ نَشْرَحْ لَكَ صَدْرَكَ.
Have we not, in fulfillment of your vision in your boyhood, and again when you were entrusted with the divine mission, opened, expanded, and illuminated for you your bosom?
وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ.
And have we not relieved you of your burden of various responsibilities?
الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ.
Which have weighed your back down?
وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ.
And have we not exalted for you your name and given you fame?
فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا.
So surely every hardship is followed by ease.
إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا.
Yes, every hardship shall be followed by an ease.
فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانصَبْ.
When you are free, having finished one task, strive hard to do the next.
وَإِلَى رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب.
And to your Lord you do attend wholeheartedly and humble yourself before him. Al-Tin, the fig. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
وَالتِّينِ وَالزَّيْتُونِ.
I call to witness 4 periods of human evolution, including the fig, symbolic of the era of Adam, when the foundations of the human civilization were laid, and the olive, that of Noah, the founder of Sharia,
وَطُورِ سِينِينَ.
and Mount Sinai, that of Moses when the details of the Sharia were revealed.
وهذا البلد الأمين
And this town of security of Mecca, where the advent of the Prophet Muhammad, the divine law, was perfected and finalized.
لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم
That we have surely created the human being in the finest make and the best proportions, with enormous capabilities for an all-round advancement through the process of evolution.
ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين
Then, according to our law of cause and consequence, we degrade him to the lowest of the low if he does evil deeds.
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون.
Different, however, is the case of those who believe and do deeds of righteousness. There awaits them a never-ending reward.
فما يكذبك بعد بالدين
Who is there after this to belie you, O Prophet, with regard to the day of requital?
أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين
Is there still anyone to say that it is not Allah who is the best of judges? Al-Alaq, the clot. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق
Recite with the name of your Lord who created all the universe.
خلق الإنسان من علق
Who also created human being from a clot germinating cell.
اقرأ وربك الأكرم
Proclaim, for your Lord is the most benignant,
الذي علم بالقلم
who taught knowledge by means of the pen.
علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم
He taught human being what he did not know.
كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى
Nay, it is not at all as these people think. This human being does indeed indulge in transgression,
أن رآه استغنى
because he thinks himself to be independent of God.
إن إلى ربك الرجعى
O people, surely to your Lord is the ultimate return of you all, to be accounted for your deeds.
أرأيت الذي ينهى
Have you considered the case of one who forbids,
عبدا إذا صلى
a servant of God when he prays to his Lord?
أرأيت إن كان على الهدى
O people, do you ever consider if he who prays to God follows the right guidance,
أو أمر بالتقوى
or enjoins guarding against evil? How bad will be the end of that forbidder.
أرأيت إن كذب وتولى
Do you also consider if a person, the rejecter of divine commandments, belies them and turns his back upon the truth, what his end will be like?
ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى
Does he not know that Allah indeed observes all?
كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية
Nay, it will never be as the rejecter desires. If he does not desist from these wicked ways, we shall assuredly seize him and drag him by the forelock.
ناصية كاذبة خاطئة
A lying, sinful forelock.
فليدع ناديه
Then let him call members of his association.
سندع الزبانية
We will call our brave defending guards.
كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب
Nay, he will never succeed in his evil designs. Yield not to him, rather continue to prostrate yourself before your Lord and draw near to him. Al-Qadr, the Majesty, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر
We began to reveal it, the Quran, during the night of majesty.
وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر
And what shall make you know what the night of majesty is?
ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر
The night of majesty is better than 1,000 months.
تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر
The angels and the divine word come down therein by the command of their Lord to determine each and every affair.
سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر
That night is all peace. It lasts till the rise of the dawn. Al-Bayyinah, the manifest proof, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة
Those who disbelieve from among the people of the scripture and from among those who associate gods with God would not be rid of their bigotry and rejection of faith until there should come to them the manifest proof.
رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة
A great messenger from Allah, reciting to them written leaves of the book, free from all impurities,
فيها كتب قيمة
consisting of eternal laws and commandments.
وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة
Those to whom the scripture was given became divided only after the manifest proof had come to them.
وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة.
They have done it, though in Islam they were enjoined nothing more than to serve Allah, bearing true faith in Him, and being upright, and to observe prayer, and to keep on presenting the zakat. That is the true and firm conduct of faith.
إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية.
Verily, those who disbelieve from among the people of the scripture and from among those who associate gods with God shall be consigned to the fire of Gehenna. Therein they shall abide. It is they who are the worst of all creatures.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك أولئك هم خير البرية.
Verily, those who believe and do deeds of righteousness, it is they who are the noblest of all creatures.
جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ذلك لمن خشي ربه.
Their reward is with their Lord. Gardens of eternity, served with running streams to keep them green and flourishing. They shall abide therein forever and ever. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with Him in their state of highest bliss. Such is the reward for a person who stands in awe of his Lord. Al-Zalzalah, the shaking, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها
When the earth is shaken with its violent shaking,
وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها
and when the earth shall throw up all her treasures,
وقال الإنسان ما لها
and when a person will say in bewilderment at the extraordinary happenings on the earth, what is the matter with her?
يومئذ تحدث أخبارها
That day she will relate all her news pertaining to every action done in secret on it.
بأن ربك أوحى لها
For your Lord will have inspired her to do so.
يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم.
On that day of reckoning, all people will come forth in various groups to be shown the results of their deeds.
فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره.
Then whosoever has done so much as an atom's weight of good will see the good result of it.
ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره.
Similarly, whosoever has done so much as an atom's weight of evil shall also see it. Al-Adiyat, the chargers, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا.
I call to witness the panting and snorting charges of the warriors.
فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا.
And those that strike sparks of fire, dashing their hoofs against the stones.
فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا.
And those that make raids at dawn.
فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا.
And raising up clouds of dust therewith.
فَوَسَطْنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا.
They penetrate thus right into the middle of the enemy ranks.
إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ.
That good-for-nothing human being is indeed very ungrateful to his Lord.
وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ.
And he himself bears witness to all this by his conduct.
وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ.
And he is, truly speaking, the extreme limit in his love for wealth.
أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ.
Does not then such a one know the time when all those in the graves will be raised up in the hereafter?
وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ.
And the time when what is hidden in the bosoms of people shall be made known?
إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.
Verily, their Lord is, of course, fully aware of all regarding them that day. Al-Qari'ah, the disastrous rattling. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
القارعة.
The disastrous rattling.
ما القارعة.
How very terrible is the disastrous rattling.
وما أدراك ما القارعة.
What should make you know how very severe and destructive the disastrous rattling is?
يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث.
On that day, people shall be in great confusion and distress, like moths scattered.
وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش.
And the mountains shall look like carded wool.
فأما من ثقلت موازينه.
Now as for the person whose scales of virtues are heavy and good deeds are preponderant,
فهو في عيشة راضية.
he shall have a pleasant life.
وأما من خفت موازينه.
But as for the person whose scales of good deeds are light and of no account,
فأمه هاوية.
the abyss, Gehenna, shall then be a nursing mother to him, till the souls are completely cleansed of the taint of sin and they are reborn.
وما أدراك ما هي.
Ah, what should make you know what that abyss is?
نار حامية.
It is a blazing fire for burning out all the dross that people collect by leading a sinful life in this world. Al-Takathur, the vying with one another to excel. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
ألهاكم التكاثر.
O people, your vying with one another to excel in multiplying worldly possessions divert you from God and true values of life.
حتى زرتم المقابر.
Until on your death you embrace the graves.
كلا سوف تعلمون.
Nay, you should never hanker after worldly gains, power, and position. You shall come to know in time that you have been chasing a shadow.
ثم كلا سوف تعلمون.
Nay, again, we repeat, never should you misuse your life of probation. You shall come to know the consequences of it in time.
كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين.
No, never. If you only knew the consequences thereof, with sure and certain knowledge.
لترون الجحيم.
You will certainly see the very hellfire in this present life by seeing the sad fate of the wicked.
ثم لترونها عين اليقين.
Again, you shall most certainly see it in the hereafter with the eye of certainty.
ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم.
And then on that day of reckoning, you shall be called to account for the favors bestowed upon you. al-Asr, the time. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
وَالْعَصْرِ
I cite as witness the time.
إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ
Verily, a person who is unmindful of God and higher values of his life is pursuing a losing bargain.
إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ.
Different, however, is the case of those who believe and do deeds of righteousness, and who exhort one another to accept and preach the truth, and exhort one another to abide by it with patience and perseverance. Al-Humaza, the slanderer. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ
Disaster is decreed for every slanderer, defamer,
الَّذِي جَمَعَ مَالًا وَعَدَّدَهُ
who amasses wealth instead of spending it for the good of humanity, counts it over and depends upon it as a safeguard against his future possible hardships.
يَحْسَبُ أَنَّ مَالَهُ أَخْلَدَهُ
He thinks that his wealth will make him immortal.
كَلَّا لَيُنبَذَنَّ فِي الْحُطَمَةِ
No, never. He shall surely be cast into the crushing torment of hell.
وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحُطَمَةِ
And what should make you know what the crushing torment is?
نَارُ اللَّهِ الْمُوقَدَةِ
It is the fire set ablaze by Allah,
الَّتِي تَطَّلِعُ عَلَى الْأَفْئِدَةِ
and which rises over the feelings of the hearts.
إِنَّهَا عَلَيْهِمْ مُؤْصَدَةٌ
It, the fire, will be closed in on them, so as not to let them escape from it, and to also increase for them the torture of heat.
فِي عَمَدٍ مُمَدَّدَةٍ
The flames of the fire will rise in the form of huge outstretched columns. Al-Fil, the elephant. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ
Have you not considered how your Lord dealt with the people of the elephant, the army of Abraha, the viceroy of the Negus, king of Abyssinia at Yemen?
أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ
Did he not cause the war to end in confusion and ruin their plan to destroy the Kaaba by making it revert to themselves?
وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ
And he sent against them flocks of birds,
تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ
which tore off flesh from their bodies to eat by, striking them against stones of hardened and petrified clay.
فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ
And thus he reduced them to rotten chaff, and in a similar way will they be ruined who would ever make an attack to destroy the Kaaba. Al-Quraysh, the Quraysh. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ
The Lord destroyed the people of the elephants, which event proved helpful for making covenants of the Quraysh with their contemporary kings for trade.
إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف
And also for their covenants of journeying by taking caravans in winter to the south and in summer to the north.
فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت
They should be ever grateful to God for this favor, and therefore they should worship the Lord of the house,
الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف.
who has fed them against hunger and given them peace and security against all fear. El-Ma'un, the acts of kindness. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين
Have you considered the case of one who belies the requital and faith?
فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم
As a result of this despicable fellow, instead of taking care of him with affection, repulses the orphan,
ولا يحض على طعام المسكين
and does not urge in feeding of the needy.
فويل للمصلين
So woe to those who pray,
الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون
but are unmindful of their prayer and ignore the spirit and aim of it.
الذين هم يراءون
And they like only to be seen of people while they make a show of their deeds.
ويمنعون الماعون
And who withhold legal alms and other acts of kindness, starting from the zakat to the lowest form of lending ordinary things of utility like a needle or a piece of thread to a neighbor. Al-Kawthar, the abundance of good. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
إنا أعطيناك الكوثر
Verily, we have bestowed upon you, O Muhammad, abundance of good, both of this life and of the hereafter.
فصل لربك وانحر
Therefore, observe prayer for the sake of your Lord, and offer sacrifice to him.
إن شانئك هو الأبتر
Surely it is your enemy who is cut off entirely from all good and prosperity, and is deprived of spiritual issues. El-Kafirun, the disbelievers. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
قل يا أيها الكافرون
Say plainly to those present and who are not, O you disbelievers,
لا أعبد ما تعبدون
I will not at all worship those false deities which you worship,
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد
nor are you worshippers of him whom I worship,
ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم
neither have I ever been a worshipper of those false ancestral customs, superstitions, and deities which you worship.
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
Nor are you worshippers on the lines of which I worship.
لكم دينكم ولي دين.
For you is your recompense, and for me is my recompense. Al-Nasr, the help. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح.
The help of Allah and the victory over the Meccans has indeed come in fulfillment of the prophecies.
ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا.
And you see people thronging to the fold of the faith of Allah.
فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا.
So glorify your Lord with his praises, and extol his name and ask his protection. Surely he is oft returning with grace and mercy. Al-Masad, the twisted strands. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
Let the two hands of Abu Lahab, the Prophet's uncle, one of his most inveterate opponents, and other fiery-tempered enemies of Islam, perish, and let he himself also perish.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
His wealth and what he has accomplished shall avail him not.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
He shall soon enter a fire full of leaping flames to burn others of his kind as well.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
And his wife too, the carrier of firewood and bearer of slanders and calumnies, will also be enveloped in the flames.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Having round her neck a halter of twisted strands. Al-Ikhlas, the purification of the unity of God. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
قل هو الله أحد.
Say, the fact is, He is Allah, the one and only in His being.
الله الصمد.
Allah is that supreme being who is the independent and besought of all and unique in all His attributes.
لم يلد ولم يولد.
He begets none and is begotten by no one.
ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
And there is none his equal. Al-Falaq, the daybreak. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak, and the plain appearing and emergence of truth.
من شر ما خلق.
From the evil of that which He has created.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
And from the evil that usually prevails in the times of darkness, when it overspreads at night.
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد.
And from the evil of those who try and whisper evil suggestions to deter people from doing their duty.
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
and from the evil of the envier when he envies. Al-Nas, the people, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful.
قل أعوذ برب الناس.
Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of people,
ملك الناس.
the sovereign, the controller of all affairs of people,
إله الناس.
the God of people,
من شر الوسواس الخناس.
that he may protect me from the evil of the whisperings of the whisperer, the sneaking one,
الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس.
who whispers evil suggestions into the hearts of people,
من الجنة والناس.
from among the jinn, fiery-natured, haughty, and the ordinary people.